Your thoughts on Manny Pacquiao's retirement?
One of the greatest fighters we've ever seen. Never ran from anybody. Had completely respected the sport of boxing. Was an ultimate champion. And I have to tell you, one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet on the planet Earth.
I love Mayweather. I think Manny Pacquiao won Mayweather today. Manny Pacquiao in his prime was throwing damn near 100 punches per round. No other fighter could do that, and he wasn't on steroids. Manny Pacquiao all day.
I might not be as fast as I was when I was 30, but I'm still fast enough to break your nose or do some damage to you.
Yeah, and for Manny, it wasn't so much the power, it was the speed and the accuracy and the 2 or 3 punches in a row that just...
Stephen A. Smith shared why he believes Manny Pacquiao would dominate Floyd Mayweather in a rematch. He described Pacquiao as the ultimate champion and a true legend of the sport, respected since the start of his career. Smith was especially impressed by Manny's technique, explosive speed, and power qualities that, even at 46, remain remarkably intact. In Smith's view, Pacquiao's current form is more dangerous than ever and would overwhelm Mayweather if they met again in the ring.
Your thoughts on Manny Pacquiao's retirement?
One of the greatest fighters we've ever seen. Never ran from anybody. Had completely respected the sport of boxing. Was an ultimate champion. And I have to tell you, one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet on the planet Earth. I mean, when people... I want to just say this real quick because I know we got to go because we got one more thing to discuss, Mark.
Yeah.
When people talk about Manny Pacquiao and they say stuff like, well, he's fighting for money. I would like y'all to know that there are people who line up in the streets of the Philippines just to come get some money from him. He's very charitable.
Oh, yeah.
That's why money was compromised, because he's a giver. He's a special dude. I'm going to miss him.
Charleston White didn't mince words when discussing the long-standing rivalry between Mayweather and Pacquiao. He argued that during Pacquiao's prime, Mayweather avoided the fight not due to strategy, but out of fear. White highlighted Pacquiao's devastating pace, rapid-fire combinations, and relentless drive as the reasons he was a nightmare opponent at his peak. He also pointed to Floyd's past accusations, such as alleged steroid use, as strategic delays to avoid the matchup. In White's eyes, Mayweather waited until Manny had slowed down, feeding the belief that Floyd was unwilling to risk his perfect record against a prime Pacquiao.
An honorable man, right? Going to the grave.
Story of redemption.
Absolutely. Somebody we remember forever. No doubt, man. With Charleston, we'll let you get back to your
Can't forget
business.
about the George Foreman grill. You can't forget about that grill, the George Foreman grill.
It taught many people
Taught me how to make burgers without being messy.
Definitely an important thing, that George Foreman grill, bro. Without question, man. What's your best memory of Manny Pacquiao? Watching Manny fight over the years, what was your best memory of him?
I love Mayweather. But Mayweather avoided him for all those years, accusing him of being on steroids, and he never tested positive for steroids. He was like a machine. Yeah, homie, so if I'm not mistaken, he was one of the only fighters that threw over 100-something plus rounds, punches per round. So he was like a machine, hard to beat.
Age has always played a critical role in discussions about a Mayweather-Pacquiao rematch. Many had dismissed the possibility, believing both fighters were past their prime. But Pacquiao's performance against Mario Barrios changed the narrative. His movement, reflexes, and conditioning stunned critics and reignited interest in a potential second fight. Now, instead of a battle between two fading legends, fans are beginning to wonder if Mayweather would dare face the still dangerous, older version of Manny. The momentum and pressure are quietly building.
So now the question hanging in the air like a jab, what's next for the Pac-Man? There's a growing chant for a Floyd rematch. And you know what? I wouldn't hate it. Two legends, both past their peak, but still dangerous, still proud, still built for the lights. Only thing is, after what Manny just showed, not sure Floyd wants that smoke.
Since announcing his return, Manny Pacquiao has been vocal about his desire to face Floyd Mayweather once more. In every interview and public statement, he's issued a direct challenge. No negotiations, no games, just a simple message: he's ready. Pacquiao has made it clear that the decision now rests solely with Floyd. His transparency speaks volumes about his mindset. He's confident he can still compete at the highest level, and his recent performances back that up. What once seemed like a distant hope is now becoming a real possibility. Pacquiao is waiting, gloves in hand.
The boxing world is buzzing with excitement as Manny Pacquiao gears up for his showdown with WBC welterweight champ Mario Barrios. But that's not all. There's talk of a potential rematch with Floyd Mayweather. Pacquiao's not holding back, saying Mayweather's been ducking him. He wants a real fight, not just an exhibition. Can you imagine the hype if this happens? It could be worth billions. But first, Pac-Man's got to handle business this Saturday. If he wins, will it force Mayweather to step up, or will Barrios spoil the party? One thing's for sure, the line of fighters wanting a piece of Pacquiao will be long if he comes out on top. Stay tuned, because this story is far from over.
Veteran trainer Abel Sanchez offered a technical breakdown of why Pacquiao remains so effective in the ring. He explained that Manny's edge doesn't come from raw power, but from his precision, speed, and timing. Even after a 4-year layoff, Pacquiao returned with impressive rhythm and sharpness. Sanchez emphasized that Manny's hand-eye coordination and conditioning have held up remarkably well, allowing him to remain competitive against much younger fighters. While most boxers decline with age, Pacquiao's unique style and fundamentals have stood the test of time, reinforcing the belief that he's still an elite contender.
It didn't seem like Barrios wanted to hurt Manny, and maybe it's the respect. Maybe it's the greatness was, he was in the ring with greatness and didn't want to do anything dumb.
Yeah, like, I spoke to Bob after the fight, who's the trainer of Barrios, and he was telling me he was getting on Mario's ass about that. Like, he felt like he was being too nice, and he told him, you gotta take it to him, man. Like, leave all that crap outside. Like, be mean, you gotta take it to him.
Yeah, but you know what? We are on the outside. We're not taking near a lick as a coach. Yeah. He's in there with a great legend, and he's in there with somebody that can punch and somebody that can fight. So his mentality and his sentiment and what he sees there is a hell of a lot different than what we see on the outside. All we can do is try to encourage our guys, but we're not taking any punches.
Yeah, there was flashes of the old Pacquiao there, though.
At times.
Yeah, at times.
Yeah.
Obviously not like before, but, he's patting it jab straight and then come up top. Was there, it landed a few times. In the first round, he landed it straight, like almost right away. I felt to kind of show Mario, like, hey, I might not be as fast as I was when I was 30, but I'm still fast enough to break your nose or do some damage to you.
Yeah, and for Manny, it wasn't so much the power; it was the speed and the accuracy and the 2 or 3 punches in a row that put you in trouble. So maybe Barrios was not going to have any of that. Who knows? But again, it didn't look like the kind of fight that puts people on the edge of the seats.
Just covering Pacquiao's career for as long as I have, there was a few things that I noticed. Like, I felt like at times, and maybe this will get better now that he's, doing he said that he's going to come back, that he's eyeing maybe October, November of this year to come back again in another fight. He's more consistent. I know when you're older, it's like the old saying, like, you got to use it so you don't lose it,
Although Manny Pacquiao didn't get the official win against Barrios, his performance was enough to reignite serious conversations about his abilities. Many fans and analysts felt the judges got it wrong, that Pacquiao clearly deserved the victory. More importantly, the fight shifted the focus from results to performance. Manny looked sharper, faster, and more determined than ever. Age was no longer the dominant question, it was about capability. This version of Pacquiao has shown enough to convince many that not only is a rematch with Mayweather possible, but it's also winnable.
This whole Barrios and Manny thing, y'all don't see what the bigger picture is? Y'all don't think we're going to get a Mayweather Part 2 coming soon? Y'all don't think so? Because you do know Barrios is the ultimate company man.
Mayweather Part 2? Yeah, I don't see that. I'm more on the Tank. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I think that Tank gets the fight.
That's what I've been saying. I said I'm going to stand on it, that if Manny Pacquiao pulls this off and gets that belt, Floyd Mayweather's coming out of retirement.
While support for a rematch is strong, not everyone is eager to see it happen. A significant portion of the boxing community admires both fighters and prefers their legacies remain untarnished. Watching two aging legends face off again could feel bittersweet. For these fans, a loss for either would dim the legacy they've cherished for years. Nostalgia holds powerful sway in sports, and for some, preserving the memory of greatness matters more than rewriting history with one last chapter.
Nobody wants to see a Pacquiao versus Mayweather, too. The first fight was a decade ago, and it took too long to happen. And now they both, it's just like, come on, bro. We just trying to squeeze the life out of boxing, for real. Y'all want to watch two senior citizens spar? Because they both pushing 50. And the thing that will make it the most disappointing to me is that we should have had this when they were in their primes. And the fact that if they're trying to fight now, it's just a money grab. They just know they can both get a nice check from it, and why not? That would be the only reason, because they pushed this off so many times. Y'all, a lot of y'all wasn't alive back then. Y'all wasn't outside. This was the discussion in boxing for a good 6-year stretch. Is when would Floyd Mayweather fight Manny Pacquiao? Is Pacquiao juiced? Oh, Floyd's ducking everybody who's actually good. He doesn't want to fight anybody in their prime. This was the talk about, this was the boxing talk for almost a decade, and the fact that they would come back and do it now, it makes me so mad, because I already know people would watch, it would get the views, but it's just going to be disappointing because the first fight was disappointing.
Boxing icon Roy Jones Jr. stirred the pot by leaving Mayweather off his list of all-time greats, not because of Floyd's record, but due to the quality of his opposition. Jones argued that while Mayweather fought big names, many of them were past their prime or not serious threats when he faced them. In contrast, Pacquiao consistently sought the toughest opponents. This perspective adds fuel to the ongoing debate about whether Floyd's legacy is truly untouchable when measured against fighters who embraced risk over perfection.
Roy Jones Jr. says Floyd Mayweather isn't in his top 5 boxers of all time because Floyd never fought a boxer that was his equal, reveals he's still open to fighting Floyd in a boxing match. Look, man, Roy, you sounding real desperate, dog. Because Floyd didn't have Ali as his #1 fighter of all time. I hope you guys understand. This all stems from Floyd saying Ali wasn't the GOAT. Relax, Roy. We get it. You just overwhelmingly love Muhammad Ali for some reason. I don't care if you got Floyd top 5 or not. Floyd's my #2. I feel like if he's not top 5, your list is already trash. But all I know is he's way above Roy Jones Jr. Roy was a PED cheat who got exposed when he had to get off. And he didn't fight nobody. Roy's resume's empty. It's a skeleton. You got James Toney. Outside of that, it's nobody legendary on his resume outside of Tony that I can think of. Roy was a great fighter, one of the highest peaks in modern boxing history for sure. But the guy, at the end of the day, he didn't fight nobody. I'm cool with Roy saying Floyd ain't top 5, but as long as he don't got himself in that top 5, we all good. You guys let me know how y'all feel about this. I think Roy Jones looks really desperate. I think he really is seeking attention from Floyd. It's getting really bad.
The road to their 2015 showdown was plagued by delays and accusations. For years, both camps blamed the other for failed negotiations, citing disputes over drug testing, revenue splits, and network deals. Though Pacquiao eventually agreed to nearly every condition, public sentiment increasingly held Mayweather responsible for the holdup. Among fans, a common belief persists: Floyd avoided the fight in its prime years to protect his undefeated record, an idea that continues to shape perceptions today.
Biggest fight in boxing. I do think that Pacquiao was willing to face Mayweather in this situation. He just didn't want to agree to those stipulations. And if the stipulations aren't too ridiculous, I think it is ducking. Pacquiao would then face Joshua Clottey instead on the 13th, and Floyd would go on to face Shane Mosley. Pacquiao beats Clottey by decision, and Floyd beats Mosley by decision. Half a year after the initial negotiations fell through, Pacquiao takes a U-turn and actually agrees on the 14-day blood testing. With the new stipulations, Team Pacquiao had a new offer to offer Team Mayweather. And the way they saw it, if there was no testing disputes, Floyd should be eager to take the fight. So Floyd was given a deadline to accept the deal. Top Rank was very public about this and even gave a countdown on their public website. However, one thing that needs to be considered in this situation is that Bob Arum never disclosed the actual conditions of the contracts.
The first fight wasn't without controversy, most notably due to Pacquiao entering the ring with a shoulder injury. Many believe that a fully healthy Manny could have changed the outcome. Now, with Pacquiao looking revitalized, speculation is growing that Mayweather might be avoiding a rematch not for strategy, but to shield his legacy. This isn't just about a fight, it's about protecting a carefully curated image built over decades of dominance.
My eyes keep telling me, wait, does Manny look like a steroid creation? Does he look like some mini Schwarzenegger? Well, I can give you any other thing that steroid can do, but not natural hand quickness. So if you're right about how Floyd Mayweather is the greatest defensive tactician in the history of boxing, what should he care about how ripped or big the head is of Manny Pacquiao? Pretty boy Floyd is worried that for the first time in his career, he is going to get hit and hit and hit. He's going to get cut. He's going to get hurt. He is scared to.
Pacquiao's bout with Barrios was seen as a make-or-break moment. A win would have fast-tracked him toward another massive payday, possibly a second clash with Mayweather. The draw complicated things, but insiders insist it hasn't derailed the possibility of a rematch. In boxing, excitement often outweighs results, and Pacquiao's heart, style, and conditioning have convinced many that he still has big fights left. For promoters and fans alike, interest remains high, and that's often all it takes to keep talks alive.
So there's a conversation going around that a Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao rematch is in the works if Pacquiao beats Barrios. And I want to ask y'all, do y'all want to see a rematch between these two? For me personally, fuck no. No. The first fight was boring. So just imagine this fight, they're even older now. And they first fight, I feel like it took too long for them to finally fight each other. Right? I feel like Floyd kind of dragged that shit out. And caught Manny at a point in time where, you know, they both wasn't dead in their prime anymore, right? They still were great fighters, don't get me wrong, but they wasn't both dead in their prime. I feel like they should have both dead in their prime against each other. But absolutely not. I don't want to see that. But they say, oh, it can generate billions. Nah. I mean, people will tune in just because it's Floyd and Manny Pacquiao. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't want to see this.
When Pacquiao stepped into the ring against Barrios, expectations were modest. After years away from the sport, many assumed he'd be a shadow of his former self. But Manny defied the odds. His combinations were sharp, his movement fluid, and his footwork as slick as ever. Skeptics quickly turned into believers. The performance didn't just prove he still belongs, it reignited enthusiasm for one final run on boxing's biggest stage. Even in his 40s, Pacquiao reminded the world that he remains elite.
I mentioned the weekend was busy, so let's talk about Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao, the Boxing Hall of Famer, 46 years old, inactive for nearly 4 years. His attempt to win a welterweight title came up just short, right, to a draw against Mario Barrios. That wasn't the old Manny Pacquiao that we saw in the ring against Barrios. It was a lot better than what people were expecting, including me. What did you think of what you saw from Pacquiao? 46 years old, back in the ring for the first time since 2020.
Including you and me, we watched that fight together, and we were shocked. The fact that he went past the 5th, the 6th, the 7th round, and he
got
still
better
had
too.
Yeah. He still had the bounce on his leg. Yeah, of course, it was flashes of the great Manny Pacquiao, but he was doing it against a young, strong, hungry, motivated champion in Barrios, and Barrios he was never in front of an old man, put it that way. He wasn't in front of a 46-year-old. It looked like he was in front of a guy that was in his mid-30s in Manny Pacquiao. And at 46 years old, to keep that fight as competitive all the way to the end, where a lot of people felt that he won, including myself, it's incredible. It really is incredible. And the fact that he was out of the ring so much, forget the age, the inactivity hits you harder when you're that old than actual, Father Nature. That is amazing. That is incredible. That reminds me of like Sugar Ray Leonard when he was out of the ring for 3 years and came back from Marvin Hagler. But Ray Leonard wasn't no 46 years old. Pacquiao needs his legs to be explosive. That's how he made a career. That's how he became an 8th division champion, an all-time great. And he still has the little bounce on his legs, man. So credit to those big-ass calves that Manny Pacquiao has, because he showed signs of greatness, man. And it was great to see that, but the judges didn't give it to him.
Debate over who owns the greater legacy, Mayweather or Pacquiao, continues to divide fans. Floyd's supporters point to his perfect record and defensive brilliance, while Manny's backers cite his unprecedented success across 8 weight classes and his fearless approach to competition. It's a contrast between perfection and risk. In 2024, word leaked that both camps were close to finalizing terms for a rematch. The excitement was real, but negotiations quietly fell apart. Some blamed money, others cited Floyd's reluctance. Whatever the cause, the disappointment lingered. But with Pacquiao's strong return, hope has been reignited. For many fans, a rematch still represents the closure boxing has long awaited.
Speaking of Mayweather, fam, you see they're doing the Pacquiao rematch?
Yeah, I was about to say that. I was about to say that, bro. I was about to say that. They announced it, and all the fans were like,
weirdest way, bro. It's like, yo, they didn't even know. It's like they didn't know if they actually meant to announce it or not.
That's what I'm saying.
That fight's actually happening.
I heard in the comments that they announced it in like Chinese or something before, and then the crowd went crazy.
Japan, right?
Yeah, like in their language they announced it, and then they went crazy, and then they did it in English, and then like that was with silence.
That makes sense because Manny Pacquiao said it's like no one cares. I was like, bro, are we like hearing
like,
the same thing?
People
like,
are
the man just said he's fighting Floyd Mayweather, and no one cares. Everyone's like, okay, like hand over the mic now. Like, bro,
people are
like
saying
massive.
that. They're saying that, or they're saying, oh, like where they were, it's like culture to not like make noise during stuff like
Nah,
this.
bro,
Make it the
you know the
respectful
fans that Manny Pacquiao has and stuff, bro. If he's announcing that fight, you know these guys are going off.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned for more updates, and until next time, take care.